Yo, what's up? This is the start of my Onechunk account that I'm making. I'm going to be starting in Pandemonium because I thought it would be kind of fun to start off with sailing, unlock sailing one at a time, from the start itself. Things quickly take a left turn, but we'll roll with it. I think we can do it, and I think we can handle it. I didn't realize a couple things about the starting chunk, like that there is a charter boat, so that comes into effect soon. I thought it would be a good starting chunk as well because there's not too much there to do to start. So you got to kind of get rolling quickly, and there's enough things you unlock as you unlock other chunks on Pandemonium itself, which is interesting, I think. So just right here getting set up. I'm just a regular Iron Man. I didn't go hardcore or anything because I know I'll die eventually. So who really cares? And then also, I am going to be completing Pandemonium completely to fully unlock sailing. It would just take so long to complete the quest and would lock me out of sailing for a long time. So it just doesn't make sense to not do it. So we're doing that real quick. We have it here. I have the whole thing sped up, so there's no cuts or anything. I didn't really make any other exceptions. It's funny to see this actually because I think it's at 1500% speed and sailing still looks so slow when you start. So it's funny. You don't think about how slow you're actually moving, but you are, right? So this is it, almost done. Also, I'm going to be allowing the shipyard, obviously. We just went there for the quest, but also I'll be using it for tasks and such. That's because, in my opinion, it seems like it's an instance. I know it's not underground, but you can't get there any other way but that portal. And unlocking it just doesn't make sense to me, so I'm just going to allow it. There's completion of the quest. That's like the end exceptions. I am going to go ahead and drop everything here in just a minute, except the captain's log, because I wasn't sure if you could get that back, and I didn't want to risk it. I'm sure you could get it back somewhere, but I just didn't know where, and whatever, just hold on to it for now. Doesn't really add anything. It just gives you the ability to chart stuff, which is chunk tasks, so good thing to hold on to. There's a cut here because I'm just setting up things. You also notice throughout the video the layout of my UI changes and whatnot. I'm kind of getting things locked down, so just bear with me on that. I also learned some things of recording live. I recorded all these clips. I'm just talking over them now. So in the future, I'm going to do some live recordings, make it a little more fluid. So here's the chunk map. This is all the tasks we have. Nothing too bad. Cooking a bass, the highest skill requirement. Tyrus helm and catch raw anchovies. I am backlogging the sailing tasks because you can't actually train sailing on this chunk. You can get on your boat technically, but once you're in your boat, you're in a different chunk. So you can't train it. The only thing you could really do is get a port task here, so I am going to do that, but you can't trust to really train sailing yet. Other than that, it's really just fishing and cooking. You got to chart a couple things and pick up a couple things. It's really quick, not too bad. There's a couple little fun things that we do to kind of streamline and make things possible, which is I guess fun for this chunk. And then there's the Pandemonium exception where I'm going to let complete that quest fully. So now we're back. I'm in the cave here, just talking to this guy. You get a little spyglass, and that'll be used to chart the charting spots on the map. You can see one right above me. So those are two quick tasks, and as we expand in sailing, obviously they'll become more important and more to check off the list. I don't think any of them will ever be hard, but there's something to do. There's a couple spawns in here. Rope is helpful to start off because we'll actually be selling some rope to get GP to buy fishing supplies. So that's kind of a jump start. That would have been weird to not have any GP. And luckily there's a charter shop, so that's how we can sell rope. Here I go and grab the bronze mace after killing this rat. And I almost die immediately after starting. So gotta be careful there. Especially when I come back for melee training. I only have to get 5 defense in this chunk, but as we unlock stuff, more training will be needed. So keep that in mind. Unfortunately, none of the enemies in here drop anything, really. They drop bones and rat meat, excuse me. So that could be used for cooking, but the spiders really don't drop anything. And then obviously the rats and the seagulls don't really drop anything other than bones. So no real monster drops in this chunk. This is a chest you get a key for later. I think it's a fragment shard. So we'll be coming back there eventually, I'm sure. Red spider's eggs, again, could be useful in the future, but not now. This is going to be getting chunked down. Extremely lucky I didn't die. That would have been really embarrassing to die immediately on starting. But, you know, we made it through, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Alright, so here I'm just checking out the shops. There's this fishing shop here, which is actually really important. It allows us to fish, and then also gives us that bass requirement of cooking. So we'll be coming back here. We actually make a bunch of money here by selling fish that we fish up, which allows us to buy bait and then sell more fish, etc. Kind of a cyclical thing. You can't pick the spear up. You can pick the other one up behind the bar, but it doesn't really matter. And then we have the bar who has some drinks and stuff. Unfortunately, no real uses for the drinks yet. I was kind of hoping I could get I forgot the name of it. It's the blue drink, but it gives you a sailing boost and a cooking boost, which is going to be really helpful down the line here, as you'll see shortly. But no, nothing great, unfortunately. There's some stews in there, so that could be some good food for training. But not much. Yeah, so just going, grabbing the log here, the final one. Like I said, these are super easy. Just checking them off. Give you some sailing experience, but not a lot yet. The higher level ones, I think, give you more. And then once you complete oceans or seas or whatever they're called, they give you an XP boost, which is nice. So, checked off a couple of quick tasks here. Like I said, nothing really takes too long here, but so far we've done both of these sea charting logs. We've also got the bronze mace. So next, we're going to start working on fishing, which is the technically longest grind here, which isn't really a long grind. So just checking here that I could sell the ropes and how much they sell for, seeing what this shop has to offer. They sell for 2 coins, which doesn't seem like a lot, but we really don't need that much money. We just need a little bit of starter cash to get the small net and the rod, and bait. Bait is expensive, so we're not really going to be able to buy a lot of that yet. But it's kind of like a process of just building up cash by fishing. So I just run over back to the cave, and then world hop a couple times and grab some ropes. Like I said, I didn't need a lot of money, so I think I only got 8 ropes. Yeah, I only got 8, which will be more than enough. Yep, and they sell for 2, so just hopping, selling them that way. And then just running over here, grabbing the small net, and then we get started on fishing. Like I said, this didn't really take long, and it's super easy. There is only one fishing spot, and it's a small net bait fishing spot, so we're pretty limited on what we can catch. But it is good that we can catch stuff here. I mean, if we didn't have fishing here, this chunk would have literally nothing in it, which is gives us something to do. And then also, once we get our next chunk, it's going to be important to the game plan for sure. So I just fish these up, and then you can sell them back to the fishing shop that's right behind me where I bought the net, which is super, super useful. They don't sell for much, but they sell for something. I sold about half and then cooked about half because I also need cooking. So I'm kind of just going back and forth and doing both, allowing myself to get experience and gold at the same time. Because once I get some fishing levels, I can start rod fishing, which is better XP cooking and fishing wise. So it is good to have. So like I said, just did about half, and then there's a cooking station right below me. So it's really convenient. Nothing's really inconvenient to do here. Yeah, and then we're just taking a look. I think we buy the rod here, and then the bait is 3 coins each, and then 300 for a 100 pack. So the 100 pack's definitely more cost efficient because the price doesn't go up. So you just save for that generally. So done some cooking and fishing. There's 43 cooking. That's the requirement to cook the bass. Like I said, this only took a couple hours. It really wasn't too bad. So that's why I just did it in one cut, just to show you. This is also another task to catch an anchovy, which was done way earlier because I think our fishing is now like 42 as well. So it's kind of an inevitable milestone that we were going to hit by getting to that bass level. Right, just cooking up the last of these. Unfortunately, shrimp only give you 10 fishing experience, but anchovies give 30. Or 40, excuse me. But they both cook for only 30 each, which is kind of annoying because most food cooks for higher than it. Most fish cook for higher experience than you get for fishing them up. Anchovies do not, unfortunately. Yeah, so just buying 2 bass here just in case I burn one. I think I cooked the first one on the first try and then I burned the second. So, but that's another chunk task knocked out of the way, which is nice. Yep. So here we go. Just checking those off. Anchovies and bass. It's really not too bad. Also to note, this isn't my actual chunk map. I went back and re-recorded it because, like I said, these are all post-recorded clips or voiced-over clips. So I had to go back and do that. So we need 1325 for the Tyra's helm, which isn't too much. I just went in and I'm doing rod and bait fishing because it is actually more money to buy bait and then sell, and then buy more bait and sell. The profit is better than just fishing up anchovies and shrimp somehow. So just doing that, not too bad. And then I have that here. Again, this only took me maybe an hour, if that. It did not take a long time. So we're buying the Tyra's helm, and then to wear the Tyra's helm, you only need 5 defense, which really isn't too bad. We have a couple things to train on, but the best to train on is the rats themselves because they don't hit you back. I don't think seagulls hit you either, but I'll kill the rats, and it doesn't take long. Yep. So there we go. We got 5 defense. Go ahead and put that helm on. Finally, we're heading over and grabbing a port task. And I think that is the last task we have for the chunk. I'm just grabbing whatever, just a level 1-1. It's going to be a long time, I think, before we can do a port task. So it doesn't really matter too much. All right, so now we're checking that off, and then we're going to jump over to my actual current chunk map. There's a few errors in here, as you'll see. I think instead of backlogging, I accidentally put, I checked off 99 sailing for the Cape, but I've already changed that. I've edited it back and backlogged it instead of checked it, so that's fixed. So you can see here, all of the charter ports are available, and unfortunately, we rolled Port Khazard, which is probably the worst chunk we could have rolled. It has the highest requirements. For a lot of different skills. So 20 attacks, easy. 27 construction for a stash unit, super easy. 91 cooking. That is going to be rough. It's like 5.8 mil or something experience. That one's going to be the longest grind for sure. Luckily, it kind of goes in tandem with some other ones, namely the fishing, but it's quite rough. Crafting's easy. Defense will be pretty easy. And then we have some wood cutting ones. Fire making, we burn new logs, and fletching. Those go hand in hand with wood cutting, so that's fine. And then mining might actually suck a lot because I have a bronze pickaxe. But fishing and cooking are the real kick in the teeth, I think, on this one. And I think it's going to be quite a grind. There's a couple diary tasks quite easy, except for the elite one, and that's why we need 91 cooking and 81 fishing. So this elite task really kind of screwed us, unfortunately. And then we just have the collection logs for the anglers, and then setting up crab trap holes, which is super easy, but will be, I think, important moving forward. I think crab trapping will be some good cooking experience that I might try out, so we'll see. So here we are, Port Khazard, just checking it out. They have a general store, which kind of is a pain in the ass because it's a reason we have to do mining and wood cutting, and fire making, which all things considered, those are the easy grinds, but still just adds more to this already incredibly robust chunk. because I don't have a team of friends to help me boost through fishing trawler or anything. It's going to be on the old school way. The one thing I can say that is very good is that fishing spot on Pandemonium, because I did a couple hours AFK while doing some other stuff, just small net fishing, and I got around 14k XP per hour. I believe bait fishing will be higher. I just need to get money for it, but that blows fishing trawler out of the water. Fishing trawler, I get like 6k an hour. It's really rough. So that makes training fishing a lot more efficient and a lot more possible, I think. Down here we got some mining, the mining area, which is fine. Mithril, 55 mining is not horrible, but I do have a bronze pick. And then up here we have some trees, and there is actually an oak tree accessible up here. But we also have the shipyard, which has a lot of trees. So we started off by just cutting some wood and fletching to make some money, because I know I'm going to need money in this chunk. Normal bows unstrung and oaks unstrung are really not good money, but there's something, and I have to make a lot of them because I have to go from oak to maple. So it made me a good amount of money that helped me with construction, and once I can cut maples efficiently, I think that will be good money. So here is my first run. I think it's my first, it might be my second run of fishing trawler, and it is kind of rough. Wood cutting, I'm doing it this method because it's free. You don't have to spend any GP, but it's dependent on your wood cutting level and your construction level. And repairing these railings based on construction, and I was failing every time. So I think I failed 2 or 3 past 1. So I decided it wasn't very efficient to keep going. I did a couple, and I got lucky. I got 2 pieces, which I forgot to record, of course. But I decided it would be best if I came back with 27 construction I needed for that stash unit, because I'm going to need the level anyway, so I might as well do it to allow myself to have an easier time. Yeah, so here's my first piece. It's not really a big deal to me because I'm going to be doing so many of these. Like I said, it's not good fishing experience, but I think it will be helpful for cooking. So after that, I decided, like I said, to go for construction. So what I did is I came back here to the shipyard because it's a lot easier to bank and to chop trees, because the way the oak is oriented in the other chunk, it's on the edge of the chunk. You can't like navigate around it, and there's only one. This has multiple oak trees that you can run around. It's super easy. So just ran back and forth making longbows. And at first I made about 1,000, and I thought that would be enough GP, but it wasn't even close. So I had to go back and I made another 1,700. So here's me finishing off the selling grind after making about 2,700 oak longbows. What I was doing was I was picking up 2 planks, selling 10, buying 10, selling 10 bows, buying 10 swamp tar, picking up 2 planks, hopping, repeating. Because I was going to have to hop anyway to pick up planks, and I was hopping anyway to sell, so I figured I'd incorporate them into the same process, which was really nice. I finished everything around the same time. It was super easy. Pretty efficient, honestly. The plank spawn actually, I think, is going to be really helpful and useful in training construction. The way I'm going to be training construction is by making repair packs for the boat. So you can see here, it gives 43 per 2 planks, which really isn't bad. The most expensive part was the swamp tar, which was like incredibly expensive for some reason, which was quite frustrating, but it's okay. But it's a really fast experience here, and it's not a bad grind at all once I got the materials. So here's me wrapping up that 27. I don't make the stash unit yet, and I don't set up the crab traps yet, but we will be doing that soon. The stash unit can be done whenever. And I don't have the hunter level to set up crab traps yet, but I am a lamping hunter, because I think that'll be useful for cooking, because crab meat cooks for 80 something XP per, and I can cut shrimp and anchovies, which are 30 XP per, and then use that. So it'll increase my experience per fish by quite a lot, which will be really nice. This is just kind of an example of the method I was doing and how it works. So So here it spawns, you just chop the tentacle. It is pretty RNG. Sometimes I don't get like any chops at all. But with 27 construction, my repair rate on these railings is much higher, which gives me 10 contribution per. I don't get any experience, unfortunately, because I don't own a house. But once I got the construction level up and I have my wood cutting up, I haven't failed a run yet, which is really nice. I did go through and get full anglers, which took about 60 KC. It isn't too bad. Like I said, it doesn't matter too much to me because I'm going to be doing probably a couple hundred just for the fish themselves. But it'll be nice while I AFK fish, just giving that little XP boost. But I believe I'm going to get above 81 fishing just for the cooking requirement, but depends on how Slayer goes. The one thing I will say about this, that's the last piece of the set here. But the one thing about fishing trawler is I did about 60 to get these pieces, and I got around 500 swordfish or something like that. And based on the XP calculator, those 500 swordfish were equal to the 3,500 shrimp and anchovies that I caught. So depending on how efficient it is to get fish from the fishing trawler, it might be more efficient to do that. But again, I'm not going to be AFKing fishing trawler. So when I AFK all day, I can AFK the small net, or I can grab the rod and bait. So yep, this is me just starting to cook through everything. This is where I am now on the account after editing this video. I had just finished up fishing or cooking everything. So I am going to sell these as well, actually. Because like I said, I'm pretty desperate for money for fishing bait. I want to be able to buy a couple thousand so I can AFK all day without worrying about it. And then we can go from there, and we'll start building up. So we're coming back here, just checking off some stuff. I've done the diary. That's just fishing trawler. I've gotten the collection logs, which are pretty easy. And then I think that's all I've done. The crab holes I can do right now. I just haven't done it. And the rest of this stuff I have not finished. So we're going to be continuing on and grinding it. The stats aren't too great yet. I got 55 fishing, 53 cooking, 51 wood cutting, and 45 fletching. Those are the big ones. I knocked out the 27 construction, which is nice. But there's a long grind to go. I do think I could do this, though. It's not too bad. It's just going to take a long time of AFKing, which is fine. I think I can do it. I AFK all the time, you know. I do have a couple clues in my bank, which I'm holding on to, which I don't know if it gives you a better chance of getting other clue levels if you have them in your bank, but I really want easy clues, because with easy clues I can get a black axe or black pickaxe, which could speed up those grinds, which would be really nice. But that's the start of the account. I'm going to keep going, see how it goes, and then check back in with you guys. Thanks for watching.